You're not going for sheets afterwards.
Everybody ready? All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the regular meeting 2 of the Swatara Township Board of Commissioners. It is August 12th at 7:01 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. You may be seated. Secretary Savage, could you do roll call, please?
Commissioner Douglas,
Here.
Commissioner Rye,
Here.
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Vice President Steele,
Here.
President Ellis.
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And this board did have an executive session prior to the meeting to speak about potential litigation. We are up to visitors' requests and comments. If you have comments, please come forward, state your name and address, as well as write them down. And I'm going to ask that anyone that's speaking, please do your best to speak into the microphone. We've had issues with the mics where people that are watching at home can't hear if you're not speaking directly into it. You don't have to get really close. You can kind of hear like the feedback where it's going in and out. For whatever reason, it seems counterintuitive, but if you get really close, it goes out more. But if you have comments, please come forward and then you may begin.
Hello, my name is Amara Nazario, and I live in 1708 Green Street, Harrisburg, PA. So I live not too far, 15 minutes away. Before I begin, and I'll add my information here,
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for all of your time and energy representing our community and looking out for our community. I know that it's not always, you don't always get the appreciation you deserve. So I just want to say thank you so much for just giving us your attention and your time. So my name is Amara, and I work for a nonprofit, and we provide services to some of the most vulnerable populations here. Just to name a few, we provide supports to vets who are homeless. We provide services to those who are having mental health crises, individuals who have intellectual disabilities, and mothers in need, just to name a few. Although it's not explicitly listed on today's agenda, I wanted to express my concern about data center development. I believe last November, a Texas-based company had purchased the Highlands Golf Course with the intention of data center development. When I first caught wind of that, I tried to gather attention on the matter. Needless to say, I couldn't find people to get on board, and it wasn't until a month ago that I stumbled across a Facebook group where there were several concerned citizens in this area who were anti-data center. So special shout out to Stephanie. She's the one who encouraged me to come out today. So this is my first time at a township meeting. Since then, I know there hasn't been a lot of movement with the golf course, and it's been shared with me that there may be a future possibility of a data center being developed on a farm property. I don't have all the information, but that's what I know. And it's very much so in the seedling stages, as in nothing is being built right now. I am aware that there are ordinances being rolled out as far as redefining what a data center is, and that there was a sewage ordinance recently rolled out as well. And although nothing has been set in motion, it's almost like I'm watching this all unfold slow motion. Data centers, no matter how efficiently crafted, will leave a negative footprint. Data centers cause a strain on our electric grid, pollutes our water, heavily uses our water, and can be noisy enough to cause psychological harm to those who live nearby, us. I caution you as you draft rules regarding these data centers that you weigh out the short-term gain against the long-term consequences, as it will mean compromised resources, limited resources for generations ahead, not to mention the environmental impacts as well. You all have the power to keep the best interest of our community at the forefront, and I ask you that you fulfill your part of the promise. Before I close, I have a few questions. I'm genuinely learning. I'm so sorry if this seems uneducated, but I just wanted to know, why aren't drafted ordinances such as the sewage authority one published publicly in advance? I don't know if it was just a one-off or if that's just how things go.
The ordinances would have to be advertised publicly in the news publication. So that's how any ordinance for anything is. So they were advertised, they were published.
Okay.
And there's a time frame that they need to be published for to receive public comment. So that did take place for both.
And what's the time frame?
I would say 30 days. I don't know if that's accurate.
30 days.
10
Okay.
days.
The answer to that question is it depends on the type.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, so it varies.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to know. I'm just trying to
We
understand
generally
your realm.
it's going to be 30 days or close to that amount of time for our meetings, because we meet the first 2 Wednesdays of each month.
Okay.
So that's generally what the quickest turnaround could be. About a month.
About a month. Okay, great. And then I wanted to know when the Sewage Authority's next meeting is. Do they even have meetings like this? I'm not really sure. I went on your website and I didn't find any meetings published for 2026. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around it.
First Monday of every month at 6 p.m.
First Monday. Okay, great. Because I have feedback on the most recent resolution that came out, or ordinance. So I would just like to provide some feedback on that. And I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to add, the body is called the Swatara Township Authority that oversees sewer. So if you're looking for the word sewer, you might not be finding it.
Oh, so
But
wait, why am I not finding it?
Because it's called the Swatara Township Authority. Because I don't think the word sewer is in it.
No, not in the
So
name.
The Swatara Township Authority is a regional sewage authority, and they have the meetings here the first Monday of the month.
Oh, that
So-
would
so
explain it.
we have
Okay.
prior to this meeting, we had the Swatara
The
Township Stormwater.
Stormwater. I know.
And this
Okay.
is the Swatara Township Board of Commissioners,
Okay.
and so and then there's the Planning Commission. Like all these things will be listed in a public way, and I think we do that in like December
Yeah.
or January for the whole year.
Oh,
You know what
that's
I mean?
great.
So when you get to this point of the year, those meetings had already been listed. It's not like there's not going to be a surprise once you know the pattern. And I get if you haven't attended, which we appreciate you came. They generally follow the same pattern. You still want to check it because if it falls on a certain holiday or the 4th of July.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's that's just the way it goes. Like it's just going to be that time
Yeah.
on that first Monday of the month. The Planning Commission is a Tuesday. These meetings are Wednesdays.
Okay. So I haven't missed my opportunity. I don't want to provide feedback
Yep.
in the incorrect form. So I have till
You're
next.
welcome to go to any of those meetings, and
Okay.
you can just come to the next meeting. If you're doing something, you can come to the next one.
Okay.
The
For public comment, it's going to be at each meeting.
the Swatara Township Authority. It is on the calendar. Next month, it's on September 14th because of Labor Day holiday.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It has a certain pattern, but
But-
it could vary.
If you look on our website, it is listed on there, and it says Swatara Township Authority regular meetings. That's what
Okay.
it will say.
So the most recent ordinance won't pass until that meeting, right?
You already all of the ordinances that you're speaking about. They've already gone through the process. They've already been voted on. They've already been approved.
Oh, so then I would come here and propose. Do I even have room for feedback? Would you take that into consideration?
Most yes.
Okay.
You might be better off if you email.
Okay. Great.
Honestly, yeah. Because that's how a lot of the feedback was received for, like you said, you mentioned Stephanie, like they're emailing us over a course of time before, and their feedback was taken into consideration into what was then drafted and then approved.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I'm going to yield it to everybody else.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments?
Hi, I'll try to speak up. My voice isn't very good. For the record, my name's Jeff Painter. I'm the president of Lawton American Legion. We recently got a letter that the township's looking to purchase a drone. So I'm here to present the police chief a check for $10,000 to buy his drone. Short
Thank
and
you.
sweet.
And
Thank you.
if you need me to speak for you, I'll do it for that. I think, you know, we're going to have to get a picture.
Wow, that's huge. Thank you very much.
There's an extra dollar. You only asked for
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank
Aw.
you so much. The Lawton Legion has been such a great supporter of the township and the police department for many, many, many years, both financially and just with their presence and their assistance. So we really appreciate this very much. This will be the first funds that go into our police department drone program that'll allow our police officers to have a drone out in the field immediately when it's needed, which will just help to bolster the drone program that we already have with the township. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Thank
No,
you
don't-
very
you're not
much.
going anywhere. Mr. Painter, hold on. We need you. We're going to go out front, and then you'll do that presentation with the superintendent staff. No, you got it. Because your legion will ask to see, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and come on, I mean,
Yes, they
you look
will.
younger every year.
Yes, they will.
Actually, Brendan, can you take the picture?
All right. And thank you again. Very much appreciated. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time?
I didn't bring my pen up, but Steph Dodge, 91 Riverview. I think we all know it. I just wanted to say one thing because I feel like I say the same things every time I'm up here. We know what they are. Shana will email you if I have any questions on that ordinance. I did want to say, though, just doing some research, I did look into, because I know you guys don't control the water, the Susquehanna River Basin has put out an executive order that any data center that's even going to pull public water, it doesn't have to be a well, but they will have a meeting with public comment for it. So I didn't know if anyone was aware of that. I wasn't until today. So I just wanted to let everybody know. And then I don't know if they would maybe hear something before you guys would hear something, or if you guys hear of any like land plan coming in or whatever, let us know so we can kind of get on our radar with the Susquehanna River Basin. That's all I got today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're putting you to work. How about that?
Oh,
Civil,
hopefully it
civil
will.
rights.
I just,
Watch it, don't write.
it wasn't my pen. It was sitting here. So if it doesn't write, okay, good.
Thank you.
Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time?
Damon Wagner, 1210 High Spire. Just want to congratulate the commissioners on passing the amended ordinances on data centers. Really appreciate that. I was reviewing the draft, and I just had a question. I noticed that warehouses was crossed out. What happened to the definition of warehouses?
I'll be able to answer.
So we, instead of just a broad warehouse definition, we broke it into, I believe, 3 different terms, more specifically defined. One was truck terminal. What were the other 2, Zach?
One was truck and freight terminal, I think.
Truck and freight terminal.
I don't have it in front of me.
I don't have it in front of me
Yeah.
either. Sorry.
I think the intent was to provide more specificity
Yes.
in distinguishing different types of warehouses. Again, there's some where it's just I think one was logistics center.
Logistics center. Yes.
One was more of like a truck and freight terminal where it's near a rail yard, and so there's different, it's sort of an umbrella category, but then there's sort of subset categories within that.
So we didn't get rid of the warehouse use whatsoever. It's still permitted in the same exact zoning districts. Nothing's changed other than that, but we got more specific.
Okay, I was just kind of curious because I had a question about the fact that we didn't have a decommissioning section in the data center ordinance that was passed, and it was explained to me that we wouldn't have that because a data center is essentially a warehouse. But now that the warehouse has been removed, we have logistics centers and depots and things like that, but we don't have a warehouse.
They're still warehouses. We just fine tune them.
Okay. But you also have a definition for what a data center is too.
Yes.
So if a data center is different than, say, like a warehouse or a logistics center, why wouldn't we be able to have a decommissioning part in the ordinance for a data center as opposed to something that would affect a warehouse?
I think we beat this dead horse. I don't know what else to say at this point because I've explained it as many times as I could.
Can I say something? All right. Again, it was the last meeting I was trying to figure out what the term decommissioning is. I looked up a lot, surfed a lot, studied a lot, and it's broad and narrow at the same time. What I got a lot of feedback was there are companies out there who will provide decommissioning for your data centers. But what those companies did not do is explain what they're going to do in the decommissioning process. Again, when we push this out, this is something just to get out there. This doesn't mean this is going to be final. Doesn't mean it cannot be edited.
Sure.
And I'm not going to let go of the term decommissioning until I actually get something. And that goes for everyone out there. If you can find something, by all means, what you believe the term decommissioning is, because although you may not be hearing us, we hear you. What do you want that to be? My next step is to call companies who will provide decommissioning for data centers and find out exactly what that means and what services they will provide so that we're not just shooting in the dark here and just trying to hit a target. So I understand exactly what you want. I want it also. What does it mean? What does it entail? If you have that and you can provide us that, we will listen, we will review, and we'll get back with Zach, and we'll hopefully come up with a.
So basically you want another spreadsheet detailing exactly what, like 5 or 6 different companies would do in a decommissioning mode or service.
Give me a Bible word. Give me it all. Give all to me. I want it all. because again, when we aim for this, we want to hit the mark as best as possible, and not just say, okay, we want to put something on the zoning where we can hire
Yeah.
a decommissioning company, but we don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. What I don't understand though is that, Tri-County proposed most of what you accepted, or most of what was accepted in the ordinances. A lot of communities have accepted that and just took the whole thing as boilerplate. But I don't understand why our community didn't do that. It would seem to me though that if Tri-County is proposing it, they wouldn't propose it if it wasn't kind of watertight. Other communities, smaller communities than ours, wouldn't have accepted it if it wasn't watertight. Like, for example, Watts Township in Perry County, they have it. They took it straight from Tri-County, and I don't understand why we didn't. I mean, I've been explained. Well, it's we don't think we could legally defend it, or it would empty our pockets. But I don't understand.
Yeah, none of that
in
concerns
defending.
me about whether or not we empty our pockets. What concerns me exactly what it is we want. So if you have that from the Tri-County, you want to provide it, please by all means provide it. I have looked at other counties and townships in and out of the state of Pennsylvania, and all I seen was a small paragraph. You will decommission. But what does that mean? Is my question. What it is that we want. And again, if you have information, please by all means send it.
What I don't understand though is we understand what decommissioning a solar panel would be. That was explained to me last time I was here.
And did we say that's from the state level?
Now it's at a state level.
Right.
It's-
That's what we talked about last time, that most likely the oversight of this is going to be at the state level. So having us put something in, if the state, like, it's not going to be enforceable. It's not going to, we talked about this before with just having words on a page that mean nothing. I think part of the legal review, at least there are part, kind of meant that's essentially like, it would make you feel better,
Yeah.
but there's nothing we can do about it, basically.
Okay.
So, and I've already said that I'm not interested in doing that. And I don't think anyone here is. We're not going to give you a false sense of this is, you have protections, this and that. And it's not something that we can deliver. So I think the way that we left it the last time was these are things that need to go to a higher power than the local municipality to get that so that it is a uniform thing. If it's at the state level, any data center in Pennsylvania is held to that, rather than saying we want, this to be this way. We are the lowest level. We have the least jurisdiction, the least power. We talked about this too, where the state had the power to do a moratorium on data centers. They chose not to, but then they mandate that we have the definition for a data center within the municipal planning for our zoning and things like that. So that's where the actual power lies. And I think we're all at the point where we feel we've done everything that we could without welcoming challenges from a developer against, what we've put in there, and then have an issue with legalities. And then, we don't know how that would play out as far as like, would everything that we said not be enforceable? And I think I said this last time too. It will not surprise me one bit if there are developments or proposals in those places that have some of these things that are more restrictive, them being challenged. And then those municipalities going through a legal fight saying, we don't want this. And like, it's, again, I've said it a lot of times, it's a balancing act of trying to have what we know we can deliver on, or what we believe we can deliver on. So, I think at this, like, that's really all we can offer, other than at this point lobby to the state, because they have the broader authority to enact something that would hold every single data center in the state, to a higher standard than what we ever could. So,
Yeah, I'd like to jump in and kind of cover all these things. We've gone through over a 2-year process of having a township that did not have a zone for data centers. And we've talked about this before. So that means, for anybody that's new tonight, that means a data center could go anywhere in Swatara Township. So we narrowly defined where they could go. And we're one township in one of 67 counties. Everybody should be working on this. I don't know of anybody that's as far along as we are. So with public input, with our professionals, with legal staff, with the Board of Commissioners, Planning Commission, many citizens, literally at this point, we're past 200 citizens like yourself who had offered input. We started to look at what can we do and how can we do it. So the first step we took, was to get the zoning to comply with the municipal planning code, which is a law set in the capital. This is the township in the capital. So you got state reps, governors, senators. They require us to allow data centers. And so there is no such thing as coming here and saying, I'm against data centers. Because if we agree with you and we say we're against data centers, now data centers can go anywhere in the township. Because the law says if you haven't defined where they go after 227 years of being a township, then that means you're open to them anywhere. So you haven't actually rejected them. So we picked a very minimal spot, and I understand. I mean, I think you're a great, person for the public anyway. But you happen to live in between the two spots.
Oh, yeah.
So you've offered lots of input. We then moved from that step way ahead of anybody else. I don't know of another place. I mean, there's you leave here and go 10 minutes in any direction. You're in another community. I don't know that they've done what we've done, which selected a minimal place that we thought was the best. And there was a lot of study into that, and I might as well just put it out there now. The places have fiber going through them. They have power lines there. They have access to public water and public sewer, and we had to zone somewhere. So we picked those spots. They're minimal. There are 400 total acres in the township. And I don't know what Watts is, but I will look it up. But what we're getting now is a lot of, well, you should have had a bigger buffer because this place had it. You should have had, and we're not, those things aren't off the table, but a bigger buffer after we picked a small place would probably be legally challenged. Now we'd have to pick a bigger place. You can't have a 500-foot buffer on 170 acres of land. We ran the program on that, on a square, circle, on the shape that it's in. You've now eliminated on the 170 acres everything down to, I believe it was less than 58 acres. Well, you lose in court. You buy a piece of property that's 1 acre to build your house, and we tell you can't build anywhere near the street, the sides, and now you got like an outhouse. So, and then I'm just going to go back to the decommissioning. So decommissioning was on our radar, and we talked about it. No one was against it, but we're like, what does it mean? We have a mall that was built in the 1960s, massive, probably close to 1 million square foot, and it's no longer a mall, but it's private property. And technically, they were responsible to decommission it. They've torn it down. That's what this business will be expected to do. We don't have requirement like us here at this building. When we're done with this building, we can't just walk away and leave it. You can't do that. So there's some private property issues, and I probably was maybe the person that tipped the balance. Do we want to go through decommissioning and go through legal review and then talk about it and compare it and see if it holds up in Watts Township, see if it holds up anywhere else in Pennsylvania? And in the meantime, we didn't pass the ordinance that everyone asked us to pass on August 5th. So what you're asking for is still in play, but we had to act quickly before a plan came in. So if we were still going back and forth on legal reviews and comparing it and looking at Tri-County was a model ordinance to help us make a good decision. And like you're saying, sounds like you're happy that we took most of it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now and not just you, but now I see a lot of people are picking the parts that we didn't put in, but we were racing a clock. At the same time, while we're in the open working on the ordinance, what if a plan comes in? Now, the 90%, do you like 90% of what we did, just in general? Or okay, so just say 98, whatever it is. I don't know, but you like that, but we wouldn't have that. So we'd still be going back and forth. And that was a year process. And I don't want to say it necessarily slowed it down in any way because it was important. But we were moving on a different timeline before the citizens really got involved and were putting more things in. And the problem with that timeline is if a plan came in before August 5th and we didn't, or anytime before that, we have no rules basically except the minimal rules. So I don't want you to think anybody's against it or arguing with you. We need to define it in a way that it can be defended. And just because someone else put it in or has it on a piece of paper, at the time we were reviewing it, we just didn't know, if that was ready to go. And it came back with that and a couple other things that could be tightened up down the road, But we wanted to get that ordinance in, and that was the number one concern of the majority of the couple hundred people that started with the first thing was don't have data centers. Don't have data centers. Just tell them no. Well, then we'd have them everywhere. We wouldn't be able to and then the next one I talked about was have them only in commercial, manufacturing, and industrial zones. Our township has 35% of our property in those zones, next to schools, churches, and lots of houses, just the way the township's been developed. We picked the spot that was minimal, that had the least sensitive receptors, very few homes, no schools, and had the power lines. So, I don't know what to, that we're working with you and we're moving on, but I just feel like, going back to what we didn't do, immediately after what we did do, is going to be tough. But we're still going to keep moving on. And we heard, the other commissioner, our personal feelings don't necessarily weigh into our obligation to follow the law. So I don't want anybody in here to think that we might not agree with you personally, but we have to do what we have to do. And there are other bodies that these issues can be raised at. And Steph, we had talked about that Susquehanna River Basin, and I think we included it after the 37-page document. So we had put that information out a while ago. But in your mind, and a lot of other people, you were saying, what are you going to do about the water? Or what are we going to do about the water? And, so there is a regulatory agency. So we also think, as the president of the board said, I'm going to wrap it up here because everybody says I talk a lot. I guess I do. We're fine if a higher power, the state of Pennsylvania, the federal government, the county, says that there has to be decommissioning and they can go to bat and they can support it and they can defend it. Right now, we're small potatoes, and we just didn't feel it was worth the risk of delaying what we did. So, and I appreciate you, fighting for what you think is right.
Yeah. No, I appreciate your explanation. I appreciate the fact that it was passed. But like you said, it could be tightened up.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time? All right. We're on to item 7, a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Up to item 8, a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. And by way of discussion, the contract with Life Team EMS, this is just a continuation of what we've had in the past. Let me find the cost. I believe it's
$99,000.
$99,000. And is it 1 or 2 rides potentially in an ambulance per resident? Do you know?
It's unlimited.
I didn't see that.
Unlimited?
Yeah, the number of times you use it is not. There's no limit.
Even better.
But it does not cover, non-emergency. You have to go.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So just
transported.
for I'm getting a it's my Uber. Yeah. No, for the people that live in Swatara Township, this contract that we have with Life Team It allows residents, if you have an emergency at your home and you need to be treated or transported by ambulance, um, the township is essentially paying for that for you. I know, unfortunately, in a lot of places, that's not the case. And in addition to having whatever the health issue was and needing to go to the hospital later on, you would get a bill for having to ride in an ambulance. So Swatara Township, and through the great relationship that we have with Life Team, we pay this yearly amount, and that is covered for our residents. And it's happened. I'll say this too. It happens usually once a year. People in certain zip codes will get like Life Team solicits for memberships because again, most municipalities don't do that. So anyone that lives in Swatara Township, if you get that, it's because there are certain zip codes that fall in more than one municipality. It's not something that you would need to opt into because we've already taken care of that for you. Does anyone else have anything?
Yeah, I just want to say if you get that solicitation and you pay it, and then you realize they're good at refunding the money. So it does happen, mainly because
Mail.
yeah, people that live in Swatara Township, their address isn't going to be Swatara Township. It's going to be Hummelstown on one end, Steelton on the other, and then Harrisburg through the middle. So every year, as the president said, we'll have somebody come in here and say, I thought I was getting free ambulance rides, and they sent me a bill. We're like, okay, just give us the bill, and we'll take care of it. Like it is not the end of the world. We know it's going to happen, once or twice. But again, this is an incredible service. I don't know of another municipality that provides ambulance transportation for its residents. So, we have a good contract with Life Team, and I credit Chief Iverson for working with them on this renewal. So, thank you.
All right. Does anyone have anything else?
Yes, when you look at that contract, check the font because there's different fonts in there. Just saying, whoever has the contract, please. But other than that, it also we had something like this in place already, right?
This is just a
Just a
continuation of what.
continuation,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I can say I have visited other townships and places outside of Pennsylvania, and they can't even fathom
Yeah.
something like this. So this is great. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're up to item 9, Buildings and Codes Department, and I'll turn it over to Director Golden.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to help the applicant and owner, Anil Nembang, explain the project, but he is here to answer any questions if you have any. So his plan's called the 4921 Hair Salon. It's a lot consolidation / minor subdivision. It's for tax parcel 630140045 and 630140046. There we go. This is at 4921 Dairy Street, and it's in the limited commercial zoning district. The proposed project consists of the consolidation of these two tax parcels to create one lot. The applicant proposes a hair salon on the newly created lot in the existing dwelling, which he'll propose at a later date through zoning approval. He did receive variances at their meeting on March 19th from the zoning hearing board for a lot width of 60 feet instead of the required 80 feet, and lot area of 9,000 square foot instead of the required 20,000 square foot. They're very small little lots over there. This is the last meeting that you have to act on this. The various agencies reviewed the plan. The Township's Planning Commission recommended approval on July 14th. Tri-County Regional Planning Commission provided their mandatory comments. We had Wolpert review. It was not reviewed by HRG because there's no stormwater involved. There's one waiver, 2 deferrals. One is the waiver for the preliminary plan, a deferral for curbing along Cedar Alley, and a deferral of sidewalks on both sides of the street, on Dairy Street and Cedar Alley. Sidewalks already exist along Dairy Street. We are recommending approval of the waivers and the deferrals. There are very, very minimal comments left, and so we are recommending approval of the subdivision plan.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution to accept the plan.
Make a motion.
With your motion,
Second.
good, and this would be to waive and with the waiver and the 2 deferrals,
Mhm.
correct? For
That's
your
correct.
motion.
Yeah, it comes up to 50th Street, right in front of the playground.
So we have the motion in a second. You can go ahead with discussion.
So it's not the corner lot. There's 4 smaller lots, which I'll bring up here. So there's 2 other lots on the right-hand side here. One is the corner of the alley, Cedar Alley. And then our park's right below Cedar Alley. He's just combining the 2 from his, he has a twin dwelling here. And then there's a lot beside here, which he'll use as his parking lot for his business. So he's just combining these 2.
So there's no building between this and 50th Street, so
Right.
could technically say it's the corner property. You know what I mean? There's nothing else there.
So that's where that empty lot is.
Yeah, it's directly in front of the play piece on Venata.
Right. Yeah, and there's 2 more lots over here that he also owns.
I think we have
You
for
got beat.
discussion.
I didn't do both either this time. I did that in the last meeting, the motion and the second, apparently. And then just for the public, with regard to deferrals, that's kind of the way that the township has been doing things that are regarded with curbs and sidewalks and things like that, so that it's included on the plan. If at any point there's a need to have the sidewalks built, it's on the plan. We can request that the business owner do that. If it's a waiver, then, we just said, nope, no sidewalks. But the deferral is at a later date if it's necessary, that the business would be required. So just so that you guys understand that aspect of it. Do we have any other discussion with regard to the plan? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That plan is approved. And that's going to be Resolution R-2026-23. Okay. We didn't have any. So, yeah, we're going with that. And then we can go on to the next one.
Yes, this is a financial security reduction request. This is for the kindergarten center on Executive Park Drive. It's been reviewed through Wolpert or Dahlwood and also HRG. So we were recommending the reduction as stated in the memo. It's a total of $751,868.67.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, and we'll open it up for discussion. Does anyone have any questions?
Pretty standard. Everybody's comfortable with where we're at with this,
Yes.
on this amount of the reduction?
Yes.
Anybody else? Nope. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, that is approved. We're up to 10 reports. As for the treasurer report, Treasurer Yarzinski is away on vacation, so I'll make a motion to table that report. Do we have any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? All right. 10B, solicitor's report.
No items to report.
Thank you. All right, we're up to fire services and EMS.
Thank you, Madam President, Commissioners, members of the public. I present to you the July 2026 Swatara Fire Rescue Report. I'd like to first apologize. I did not send this out till a few minutes ago. I forgot. I'm now putting our reports out publicly via a link through Canva. It just allows it to be easily read on our website and on our Facebook page. So there are a couple of things that have been added. I'll go over them in a little bit. But July was a very busy month, mainly because of the severe storms we had right around the 4th of July weekend. We ran 218 incidents for July, bringing our year-to-date total to 1,093 responses. We had 69 overlapping incidents that month, the month of July, which is probably about double what we normally have due to the storms of multiple incidents at one time. Notable incident that we had on July 4th, we had a working structure fire. We had good staffing that day. It was a fire that started on the back deck of a home, and due to the quick response of our firefighters and our mutual aid partners, the fire never made it into the home, and the damage was greatly limited. Our average response time was 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Staffing data is available in the report. It's the same thing that we have shown month after month. We are about the 90% rate of having 3 people in one station. We do have substantial out of service time at our Rutherford station just because we don't have enough people. I did start putting in the report a graphic in the beginning that kind of gives an overview of everything I normally talk about. Also added a graphic that shows our out of service time per apparatus. I think this is important. And I think this is one of the things I wanted to briefly discuss this evening. Every day in the morning and in the evening, there's a regional group messaging app that fire departments in our area use to let each other know what units they have in service, who has crews, who doesn't. And we use that data to decide whether, if we have enough for two pieces of apparatus being in service, whether we put a piece in service at Swatara and Rutherford, or if the area ladder trucks are out of service and we can do it, we'll put our ladder truck in service. Just lots of decisions that are made now on a regional level, which is great because everybody's suffering the same problems that we have with just not having enough people. And we've learned, actually, I believe we're pretty much the leader in this. When we don't have crews, we take our apparatus out of service. We did a Facebook post last month to clearly explain why we do that, and that's so we don't delay the service to our residents. I believe right now we have probably more firefighter 1 and 2s than we've ever had before, with the mixture of our volunteers and our career staffing. We added 6 more part-timers that started the orientation today. So hopefully that will have a pretty good impact on boosting our numbers. We also struggle. We have a lot of good people. Currently, we have 2 live-ins that are actively deployed in the military. So we lost them at a very, very short notice. So that's been a huge hurt for us. And we have other live-ins that have left because they got hired at career fire departments. And we have a lot of people that are joining. We have a lot of new volunteers. Some of them have a lot of experience, but we have a lot of brand new people, and it will take months for us to get them up to speed to where they need to be. A lot of the new people are joining just because of our incentive program. I can tell you right now, and I'm sure this is one line item that you guys don't care that we go over on, our volunteer incentive is through the roof. And that's because we have a lot of people that come to take advantage of that. The problem is it's point-based, and a lot of people, once they get their points, we won't see them again till the next month. So it's doing what it was intended to do. But we still need more help. And I'm working, I think a few months ago, Commissioner Steele had asked for direction, and I've been working on a pretty substantial document that I will be presenting to you with capital purchases we need to make, career staffing options over the next couple years. And it is all based off of data. There's no feelings involved. I've used what everyone wants to talk about. A lot of, we have the ability now to take our raw data from our fire reporting software and put it into computer programs and have it analyze things. Something that would take months, even years to do, I can do in an hour. So we have a lot of good data. There's GIS involved, so I'll be able to show you maps of where the fire calls are, where our fire stations are, and the response times in different areas of the township. So hopefully by budget time, I will have that in your hands. With that being said, I don't have anything else. Do you have any questions for me?
Does anyone have anything?
I have something, Madam President. Help me out, Chief. I'm trying to understand. It says incidents by area as of July 2026. I see our number are greater, much, much greater. Can you help break that down for me so I can wrap my brain around that information?
Yeah, so that's just saying that we run more calls in Swatara Township than we do mutual aid.
Ah.
So year to date, we ran 731 calls in Swatara Township. And then, so the gray line's year to date, the red line is the month. So you can see it, how much we respond in each municipality.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Does anyone else have anything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're up to the Police Department and Community Service Report.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I just want to give another shout out to the Lawton Legion. Thank you very much. Please pass along our thanks to everybody back on Dairy Street. We appreciate it very much. Thanks, Jeff. The Police Department report for the month of July 2026 is that in that month we had 1,345 calls for service in Swatara Township and 66 calls for service in Paxtang Borough for a total of 1,411 calls for service. Our total Part 1 crimes for the month, we had 3 robberies, 31 assaults, 1 burglary, 48 larcenies, 2 motor vehicle thefts, for a total of 85 Part 1 crimes reported. The Part 2 crimes reported were 2 forgeries, 8 fraud investigations, 2 stolen properties, 11 vandalism reports, 1 weapons offense, 1 sex offense, 12 drug offenses, 7 DUI reports, 4 public drunkenness offenses, 11 for disorderly conduct, and 26 that fit in the category of all other offenses for a total of 85 Part 2 crimes. In other statistics for the month, we had 75 criminal arrests. There was 1 traffic contact for a DUI investigation. There were 25 traffic contacts with citations issued and 153 traffic contacts with warnings issued. We wrote 23 non-traffic citations, had 12 parking violations, and 10 foot patrols. You see the school foot patrols there are listed as 0. Now that school is getting started again, you'll start to see that number climb. In our crime and call trends, I think Commissioner Douglas had a great idea to throw some percentages on that page. So you see where things went down or up, and you can see the actual percentage change from the previous month or the previous year. So the Part 1 crimes in July, as I mentioned before, were 85. That's down 2.2% from the previous month. And the Part 2 crimes were down 29.1% from the previous month. And the calls for service were down 11.6% from June. And you can see the same changes there as far as the year-to-date statistics comparing 2025 to 2026. We did not have the mix-app information submitted in time for this report for July, but I'll report that in next month's report. In our Community Services Division, there were 4 events and presentations. We had 1 enforcement program and collected 62.08 pounds of unused medication or prescription drugs that were dropped into the drug drop box. So year to date, we have collected 314.57 pounds of unused or expired medication. Our highlighted events of the month: in July, on the 10th, the 21st, and the 28th, members of the Canine Division attended the Harrisburg Humane Society summer camp to answer questions from the kids and provide demonstrations in both obedience and article searches. Canines Soul, Axel, and Santi were in attendance with their handlers, Officer Kislowski, Corporal Bloss, and Corporal Smith. And on July 10th, Corporal Pokrap presented information about the role of police officers to about 40 kids at the Inspire Early Education Center, which is on Lancaster Street. The ages of the kids ranged from 2 to 10. Corporal Pokrap talked about the police officer's uniform and tools for the job. He then escorted the kids outside, where they got to see inside one of our department's marked patrol vehicles, and each one of the kids got an activity book and a junior police officer badge, and probably applications for the police department. Our upcoming events, I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but the Labor Day fireworks are on the calendar, scheduled to take place on Saturday, September 5th from 4 to 9:30. There'll be activities for the kids, food trucks, and music, and the police department will certainly be in attendance, and I imagine the fire department will be there as well. A complete breakdown for the calls for service are on the following pages. This entire report will be posted in our lobby, and it will also be online. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments or questions?
I got one quick one. Do you guys keep track of your busiest shifts? I know you work 12-hour shifts, but do you keep track of like 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7, where you're the busiest?
So when I started, back in 1998, we had 3 shifts. They were 8-hour shifts, and the midnight shift was always dead. 4 to 12 was always pretty busy, and daylight was busy in a different kind of way. Anymore, it's always busy. I can get that breakdown for you if you'd like to see it.
I was just wondering if you guys did, that's all.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty easy with the record management system we have.
Okay.
Does anyone else have anything? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we are up to our Public Works and Recreation report.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll quickly go over the July monthly report for Public Works and Parks and Rec. Public Works continues their summer road operations. That includes mowing, road repairs, and sign repairs. Public Works continues to work at the compost facility, processing the woody waste and turning the leaf compost. We do our roadside spraying over the summer months. Again, we continue roadside mowing. As I said in the stormwater meeting, we did do a lot of storm cleanup from the July 4th wind and the July 5th rain. And then we also had another wind event on July 11th. And Public Works staff helped Parks and Rec with the Family Fun Fest that was held on July 18th. Parks and Rec department, they continue their park maintenance as always. They continue to clean up dead limbs and trees. Again, we had a bunch come down in those windstorms. Parks and Rec worked at Horner Park. We got the one section of trail down to the bathrooms and the pavilion repaved. Parks and Recs worked to get the Family Fun Festival together and work through the event. And again, I already talked about the trees. I wanted to add one thing to the report that just came. So I know we had talked some time ago about the Anhalt play piece. The Anhalt play piece is due to arrive here on Friday, and the installation date, I spoke to The scheduler yesterday is set for August 25th. So the park staff went over today and actually began to tear out the existing play piece to get ready for the installation of the new set. Just wanted to give you guys all an update on that. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments? All right. We are up to item 11, approval of Wolpert Dawood traffic signal maintenance agreement. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. By way of discussion, Manager Trafka, could you go over the scope briefly?
Sure. I'll talk briefly about the scope, but I'll let the board know the reason for this. Finance Director Yarzinski and I had met with PennDOT to discuss the abilities to use liquid fuels funds for our traffic signal maintenance. The township spends a lot of money every year, keeping up after our and maintaining our traffic signals. So after the discussion with the gentleman from PennDOT, the consensus was that we would have to actually put it out for bid, follow their process, and then whoever is awarded the bid, we would be able to pay for some of these repairs, and some are very substantial with liquid fuels funds. So that was the reason for it. Wolpert, I had asked Wolpert to give me a price to basically put the package together, do the RFP, following the guidelines of PennDOT to make sure that we are fitting the criteria. So that's what this scope essentially is putting that package together, advertising it, and then collecting the bid results, awarding the bid, and go through the process. So sorry I was long-winded.
No, that was very succinct. Thank you. Does anyone have any question or discussion with regard to the agreement? All right. Hearing nothing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We are up to consideration of ordinance, vehicles, and traffic code amendment. And I will turn this one over. Well, first I'll entertain a motion and a second. We have the motion.
Second.
We have a second. Okay. And now we'll let Superintendent Stauffer give an explanation for this.
Thank you very much. First, I want to thank Director Golden for his assistance with this. We kind of tag team this a little bit. So throughout the year, the township takes certain traffic regulations into consideration, and when they are put through the resolution process, they're temporary regulations that last throughout the year. And then at the end of 180-day periods, the township has to take action to change or put those resolutions into the ordinance to make them permanent. The 180-day rule requires us then to do that twice per year. This new ordinance that's before you, which has been advertised, would change that rule from 180 days to no more than 1 year. So essentially, we would do this exercise one time per year, probably in the first or second meeting of December each year. But basically, what's before you is the ordinance to make that change from 180 days to a year. And then there are certain things in this ordinance that were up until tonight, temporary regulations that were already voted to become resolutions throughout the year.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Also succinct. Does anyone have any discussion or questions with regard to the ordinance? All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's going to be ordinance O-2026-6. And we are up to item 13, approval to intervene in an action initiated by PA Business Center LP against the Dauphin County Board of Assessment and Appeals regarding 1065 High Spire Road. So I will make a motion that we conditionally approve intervention with regard to this, depending on whether or not the school district also enters into this this action.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. With regard to a description for the public, there's an ongoing situation where property had its assessment changed for taxing by the Dauphin County Assessment of Appeals. They're in litigation to try to overturn that, and Swatara Township has the opportunity to be part of that. We are the smallest portion of the tax dollars that would come in from that. So we're kind of seeing what the school district does. If they also want to be party to that, then we will enter into it as well. And again, this would be to uphold the decision from the Board of Assessment and Appeals. So does anyone have any questions, discussion, or anything like that at this point? All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. We're up to 14 visitors' requests and comments. Just as before, if you have comments, please come forward, state your name and address, as well as write them down, and then you may begin. I don't see anyone rushing to get up here to speak to us. We're at 15. This is on the agenda every meeting. Possible stormwater violations for investigations. As always, you can state them publicly. You can email us if anything like that ever pops up. 16, commissioners' requests and comments, additional business and correspondence. Commissioner Douglas.
Thank you.
Oh, one per.
Yes, one. So I know everyone understands how your personnel committee is still kind of in the works before the plane truly gets at cruising altitude. So I'm going to read something verbatim just so that everyone understands what the personnel committee is doing, and not that we just there or I'm just here and we're not understanding exactly what my roles are or what my commitment is to the staff and to the residents. So right now, the personnel committee is in the process of doing a lot of intents and recommendations towards the board to ensure that we can provide not just proper human resources to the community, but to the full-time staff as well. So right now we have an additional duty and responsibility memorandums. This is in response to Mr. Trafficker's retirement. Congratulations down there. The personnel committee with Mr. Trafficker's full support will begin evaluating the current township manager duties and responsibilities. The goal is to identify duties that may be assigned to staff supervisors without creating a conflict of interest. This will serve as a contingency plan while Swatara Township actively seeks a qualified replacement for the township manager. The Personnel Committee intends to finalize the additional duty and responsibility memorandums as follows. By 1 October 2026, send all completed documents to the pertaining staff supervisors. By 7 October 2026, placement on the Board of Commissioners agenda as an information item. By 14 October 2026, placement on the Board of Commissioners agenda as a business item for vote. If approved, implementation will commence no later than 1 November 2026. Again, these are intents. The Personnel Committee intends to present the job posting authorization for the township manager as follows. By 2 September 2026, placement of the job posting authorization on the Board of Commissioners agenda as an information item. by 9 September 2026. Placement on the Board of Commissioners agenda as a business item for vote. No later than 16 September 2026, the Personnel Committee would execute the job posting authorizations. Again, I'm working in unison with Mr. Traffica to hopefully, we won't need a contingency, but it's always best to have a contingency. Personnel duties and responsibilities. Mr. Traffica, Mrs. Fink, and Chris, is it Shinsel? Am I saying that correctly?
I'm not sure any of us know.
No.
Yeah,
That's
Chris.
okay.
Yeah,
We knew you're
personnel
talking about him.
partners.
He does a good job. But
Yes, he does. Are working to update the transfer of all member duties and responsibilities into Microsoft Word documents. This will help the Personnel Committee to continue updating and modifying personnel duties and responsibilities. Evaluation reporting standard operating procedures. Standard operating procedures outline how Swatara Township staff supervisors will conduct personnel evaluations. The employee handbook. The Personnel Committee personally thanks Commissioner Steele for preparing the employee handbook. Mr. Traffica and Mrs. Fink are continuing their review of the handbook. The personnel duties and responsibilities, the evaluation reporting standard operating procedures, and the employee handbook are crucial in keeping legal and accountability protection, clear expectations from all the staff members, performance and evaluations, and chain of command clarity. The Personnel Committee intends to finalize these documents as follows: by 1 November 2026, send all pertaining documents to staff supervisors. By 2 December 2026, placement on the Board of Commissioners agenda as an information item. By 9 December 2026, placement on the Board of Commissioners agenda as a business item for vote. If approved, full implementation will commence no later than 1 January 2027. So we want the clarity of what we are doing up here. This is your Personnel Committee, and for all of the full-time staff and part-time staff who are reviewing this. This is where we are heading. This is the direction we're heading. We're not going blind, and we are receiving full support again from Mr. Traffica. Thank you very much, and we will continue to work together. I think, Mr. Traffica, you and I have a meeting next month, right? Sometime pending your calendar date. Okay. That's all I have. And if anybody wants to reach out directly to me, my email is up there. And thank you very much for coming out. Thank you for all tuning in. And hopefully we can get up to cruising altitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ray?
Good evening. I just want to say thank you for all the information, Commissioner Douglas. I just want to say thank you all. Thank you for our donor, Jeff. We really appreciate your support and your donation to our police department. We looking forward more in future. If God willing, we have more donor because we really appreciate our police department and all our staff, those who are working crazy for our community. We really have to appreciate their hard work, and also we have to appreciate their dedication to our community. And thank you once again. Hope you back home safely. See you next month. New faces, please keep visiting, attending, and always great to see new faces. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly?
Yeah, I want to start off by thanking again Jeff Painter and the Legion for their generosity. They always come through, big supporters here in the township. We currently have an excellent drone program with Jack Harlacker. Just like the incidents are multiplying for police, fire, and everything else, to bring the police department on board with additional capabilities. We appreciate what you do. And I'm not kidding, Jeff. You look younger. I know something's going on here. So. And that's after you gave us the money, not before. So it's always good to see you. Also, I want to touch again on the EMS contract. Incredible bonus for the township. when I was speaking about it before, it dawned on me that that wasn't always in place. And I want to recognize former Commissioner Richard Bowder for the work that he did to bring that about here in the township. And of course, thank this board and Chief Everson and Life Team for continuing the service. And I think it's an absolutely incredible value during the time when you're being transported by ambulance. There's not a whole lot of decisions that you can be making on your finances. And many people find themselves after that transport getting a very life-changing bill. And the fact that we're able to work with the provider for our residents not to have to pay that is, really important, especially during a time where you had a bad situation that put you in that spot. Um, I want to thank the fire department, fire police, and public works for always stepping up when we have township events. Uh, Everyone else is having fun and they're working and directing the traffic and keeping order, but they really, really step up in emergencies. And the storms that we had through July were pretty incredible with wide ranging areas that needed attention. Immediately and then long term. And of course, what happened is we came out of that hot, dry spell. Our guys were getting to do other things. They were doing work in parks. And then all of a sudden, they had storm cleanup. We do the brush cleanup for a week later in the year and earlier in the spring. So that added to it another incredible service for our residents. To know that our guys will be there, but it also overlapped with the rain, caused the grass to grow. So we had a couple people, that wanted everything at once. I think they're right back on the mowing. But I appreciate the way it was prioritized. There's going to be a lot of back to school events coming up between now and our September meeting. So be safe out there. If you have students returning, we wish you the best for the school year. We'll certainly be providing police protection, and we'll be welcoming students back at the schools. One thing I also want to put out is after we had the rain at the Family Fun Fest, where we had a modified event, it was supposed to go from noon to 7. We got 4 hours in at the park. We had some conversations, and Brandon, I was looking for you in the corner, but we rethought a little bit our Heroes banner of putting it on the fence with wind, and then we had some more people that gave us names. So we're actually going into a second production with more names, and we're going to mount that banner to plywood because we don't want it to get like rubbed out, or it's a banner, and if it's on the fence, we were concerned about it not holding up. It will be displayed at the September 5th Labor Day fireworks. It will be displayed here at the 9/11 chicken barbecue, which might not be on 9/11, but it's the September 11th chicken barbecue. It'll fall on that Saturday. And then it will be displayed on Veterans Day. And then we're going to put the opportunity for more people to add to it back out there. We'll evaluate if we need to do another banner. The idea is to do a supplemental banner as names are added down below, so that in future years we would have it mounted on 2 sheets of plywood for display. So I want to thank Wendy Schaefer for bringing that to our attention, especially in the America 250 year. So, it's really a nice thing to be able to do for our residents. And I think I'm just going to wrap it up there and say I appreciate everybody coming out, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Steele.
I don't have anything. Thank you. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for coming out and joining with us.
All right. Just again for residents, the Labor Day fireworks, 4 to 9. and Bishop Park, working on to see if that location will still work. May end up in a different place. We also, well, I got ahead of myself. We have on August 15th, summer movie night at Ivy Ridge at dusk. Vice President Steele, do you know what the movie is?
We talked about this. That's not the new release one.
The Toy Story is the second one.
It's Zootopia.
Utopia. And then what's
Zootopia 2. Okay.
and what's the new one coming out? That's just Toy Story 5.
Can't answer that.
Okay.
Right?
This Zootopia
Caleb,
was a good one.
I got
shame,
October.
shame on me. My kids would be mad at me.
Okay, so Saturday, jumping way far in advance. August 15th, Zootopia will be Zootopia 2, because there are two of them. And my kids would be upset that I'm just saying it, not designating between the two because they think the second one is a little scary. But it'll start at dusk. We'll have snacks and things like that. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your blankets. It's at Ivy Ridge. You can enjoy a movie under the stars with Swatara Township, with your community, with some commissioners. Have some fun. Bring your kids. Then we said, oh, now I lost the picture. We have the Labor Day event on September 5th. We'll also have another movie night that will be indoor. That'll be the Toy Story 5.
That'll be indoors.
October 5th. So that will be here in our basement. And that will start at 6. Same thing. Fun for the family. We ended up doing that last year because of threat of rain. For whatever reason, for Swatara Township, if we have an outdoor event, it's probably going to rain. That continues to unfortunately be our track record. So I'm going to knock on wood for the next one. But we moved it inside and it worked out really well. So now we're going to take that factor out completely for the October one. And I brought my kids to that. It was Minecraft last year when we did it. And everyone was enjoying it. And then Avani was a year at that point. My daughter was a year old, and there's a picture of a train from, I think, the 40 and 8 Club down on the wall in the basement. And my daughter keeps saying, train, train, choo choo, while people are trying to watch the movie. So
She was asked to leave, is what
yes,
you're saying.
yes,
President
basically, yeah.
Ford was
I
asked
made
to
an executive decision to remove her so that everyone else could enjoy the movie.
She was asked to leave.
Yeah.
The mom?
So I'll make sure my kids are on good behavior, and if I have to remove anybody, we'll do that so that everyone can enjoy Toy Story 5. But make sure you come out and enjoy the events with us. We try to make sure that we have things like that so that we can have outreach to the community and do fun things for our residents. I'll say again, thank you to the Lawton Legion for your generous donation. Swatara Township is very appreciative, and especially the police department. So thank you again. And thank you to everyone that took the time to be here this evening. Thank you to everyone that takes the time to watch these meetings online. It's appreciated. I hope everyone that is here gets home safely. And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 8:20.